a festival vibe. Hit the ground Saturday.
Saturday, we all went out, I think. All the days
time, right?
Together, but I'm pretty sure that we all kind of like met up out there, or we all went out there together. I was with Elijah and Andrew Hernandez from Lives Matter. And we kind of just walked around, and during the day they have all different kinds of things going on. I think one of the days they had like musical acts. But I'm pretty sure Saturday was the day that the street preacher showed up, and he got harassed endlessly by these guys. If I'm not mistaken.
It was either early that day, but I guess the big moment for us on Saturday was everything was chill. Then we see like the two people holding the American flags. They are not with Proud Boys, but the security was with Proud Boys. So we see them roll in. Obviously, we follow right behind them just to see what's going to happen, how the crowd was acting. At first, the crowd kind of like was a little bit, I would say, shocked. They were like, what are these people doing? They were just like, they didn't know what's going on. Then it started to get a little rowdy. Then you get like the people who like were talking crap to them. I believe someone threw some type of liquid at the flag. And then somebody stole the flag from Katie, which was the girl holding the flag.
Yeah.
What did you start to see right there? What did you notice when they walked in?
Initially, I thought this is going to be interesting because obviously this is a Black American holding an American flag. He wasn't there to do, he wasn't there to incite anything. He wasn't really saying anything to anybody. There was one reporter who was trying to basically interview him while he was walking through there, but there was a lot of heckling. There was a lot of people saying some stuff about destroying America. I think Lives Matter Drew Hernandez got footage of a Russian or a guy wearing like a Russian hat with like the hammer and sickle on it, and saying that he wanted to destroy America to Katie. And things didn't really get too out of hand for the most part until they decided they were going to take the flag from Katie. And I do remember there being a resident who lives within the perimeter of CHAZ, and he was getting frustrated and trying to take the flag back. I wanted to interview him, but amid all the commotion, I wasn't able to. Then something like that, because it did look kind of yellow.
That's what I was kind of getting on the ground. People were like, "Yo, that's not water." And that's when they basically chased the crowd out. And then they tried to take the second flag, but Max and his group were able to retain the flag. They didn't lose the flag. And then that's when, if you guys remember, if you guys haven't seen like our clips here, that's when we kind of chased that Jeep Liberty with no license plate. So me, you, then Lives Matter, who I think is watching right now, we basically triangle this guy, cameras in his face. He admits he's with the John Brown Gun Club, is what he admits. He doesn't have license on either side. And I guess I'll just tell this side story is while that happened, man, with the Jeep Liberty, well, Kaylin knows this, but not everyone else, but I actually got clipped in the back of my leg by an Uber driver. So I literally got hit by a car as I'm trying to ask this guy questions. And then on my clip, when I got hit, you can see the camera goes sideways. And then somebody hops out the car and says, if I'm okay. And I just said yes. I didn't even care about the pain. I'm like, dude, get the hell out the way. So I get clipped, and it almost, I don't know about you, Ken, but for me, like that whole thing with the Jeep Liberty, because things felt like they were happening so fast. It felt like it only happened like 5 seconds, you know? Then like the guy drove off, and then I think this is where you and me split. I think for me, I wanted to get out of there for my safety, because I think they started to know that we weren't on their side. And so I had to get out, man. I think I went to like a restaurant or something and just kicked it for a little bit. Then I went to a hotel. What did you do that time? Did you go straight back in?
Well, basically after the John Brown Gun Club, other people that we were with, and eventually you guys said you guys were going to go one way, and I was with Jack Poso and his brother.
Okay.
So I started walking with them over to the garden. We were talking a little bit, kind of introducing myself a little more, becoming familiar with each other. And then I went to go look for Elijah and Drew. Afterward, we were just kind of hanging out at the park with Drew. And I think he had to edit some footage or get some footage out of that. So we were going to leave. right after that. But all of a sudden, we saw this naked guy, and he was kneeling in the street. And if you guys haven't seen that, go and check out. You can find it on my Twitter, or you can find it on Elijah's Instagram or Drew's Instagram. Lives Matter, and that was really an interesting experience. I'm sure he was on drugs of some kind, or just really mentally unstable. He said some interesting stuff. So after that, we decided probably let's head back and we'll regroup and stuff like that. So
yeah. So basically, while I'm kind of getting away from the action, you're literally filming some action, like action. So and then I think later that night I returned. Well, we all did. Everyone came back later that night, and after that it was more like a chill thing. I think what we were trying to do more was actually just have conversations with people and just see like how they were really thinking. So I think that whole night, you, me, and the Daily Caller team and Eli and Lives Matter, we kind of all just spent our time just talking to folks and we just wanted to like kind of get some dialogue open. Then the next day was Sunday, and obviously this day got really interesting. It started off for me, man. I think I started off around filming. I think because we were editing all morning, might have hit the ground around 4 or 5, and very chill, nothing crazy. I think we did some interviews, and I think nothing much happened. And I think we went back to the hotel and then came back out again, and then that was it. And then out of nowhere, there was this big crowd, and like everyone's dancing. It seems like they're having like their time of their lives. Out of nowhere, the guy on the mic says, "Let's go get him." And we just see this mob go up the street. So we're like, okay, we're going to follow the mob. And as we're following the mob, we see like they're getting rowdy. They're like, let's go get him. Let's go get him. And we have no idea where they're going. Even like some people in the crowd are like, yo, where are we going? Where are we going? And then that's where we, I don't know if you were, I think you actually, yeah, you were there. That's when they attacked the business. So
I wasn't there for that part. I had left with Elijah.
Okay, yeah. So that's when they attacked the business, and that's when we were on the scene for that. I think that happened around midnight. They attacked this business, this big mob, and then that's when we get the interviews with the witnesses. That they said that somebody went to the business, started a fire in the business, and was trying to steal some stuff. They held them down. They tried to call the cops. Either that the cops gave them either they didn't answer, or they told them that it would take like 3 times as long for them to get there. That's when that whole mess went down. And then also when we were filming that attack on the business, everyone on the internet was like pointing out the guy from John Brown Gun Club that he was there too. Everyone was like pulling up screenshots. So we were able to make the connection there. So I think what happened was, and correct me if I'm wrong, is while you were sitting in the hotel, just chilling out, you probably saw the stuff that we were getting. You're like, hold on, things are getting crazy. So I remember we got back to the hotel. We were beginning to edit. You gave me a call and you said, "Are you out there?" I said, "No, man, I'm back now." And then that's when you're like, "All right, I'm going back out." And then I didn't tell you this, but in my head, I'm like, that motherfucker's crazy. I think it was already had to be like past 1 a.m, maybe 1:30. And all right, then I guess you could take it from there, Killing, from what you saw.
Yeah. So what's interesting about Saturday, I'm just going to go back a little bit, or excuse me, Sunday. My flight was scheduled to leave. I was supposed to leave on
right
at 6 a.m. That was my flight. So when I called for my Uber around 4:30, it took him 22 minutes to get there. Needless to say, I got to my flight gate 3 minutes late. So what they did was they gave me a flight for the next day, and I flew out then. But because I was still there, I went back to the hotel, and the day continues, right? So I went back to the hotel and I missed all that action, but I was like, screw it. I'm not leaving until like 4:15 tomorrow, Monday. And so I decided to go back out, and I figured, it'll probably be chill. Like there's probably people. I don't think anyone is there, but I'll just see, maybe I can get some interviews and talk to some people. So I get there, and about 15 minutes in, I'm at the main intersection right at the corner of Cal Anderson Park and like 11th and Pine. And someone comes up behind me, and it turned out to be Jack Poso and his brother. So they were kind of telling me what had happened with Roz and this other guy they kept calling they kept calling him the guy with the green tape on his hand or whatever. He's in a bunch of videos. He's also he was also there at the shop. What was that shop?
I don't even remember now, man.
Yeah, whatever it was. He was in that video. The guy with the green tape on his hand assaulted a suspected thief. So basically, I was chilling with Jack next to Cal Anderson Park on 11th Street. They had some couches set up, and it was kind of like open forum talking. As long as you share the right opinions, you'll be okay. There wasn't too many people there. It was just the three of us. So Jack says, "Hey, like you should record some of these guys. So, like, you know, just something might pop off." So I was just like filming them. They were kind of all in a huddle in the intersection, and in my footage that I'm going to release soon, or maybe some other outlets might release it as well because I've shared it with them, but I'm going to come up with my own. You can see them looking at something. They huddle together and they're all staring at something. And then this dude in black block starts scanning the area. And you can see in my video when he sees where we're sitting. And I have a theory about that. But essentially what he does is he immediately goes to Roz. He tells Roz something. Then he circles around. He leaves the frame. He comes around me and you see him enter the frame on the left. He goes back to Roz, communicates something. Then him and the guy with the green tape on his hand go around me again and come up behind me. And at that time, I was responding to a text message in iMessage to Lives Matter about what was going on. And the guy with the green tape comes up right behind me, right next to my face, and he says, "What are you doing on your phone? Let me see your phone." And I just didn't really know what to say. He like caught me really off guard. I wasn't going to give him my phone because I was recording. They weren't doing anything. He told me again, "Show me your phone, give me your phone, let's go through it. Otherwise, I'm going to knock you the fuck out and take your phone." And so I told him no. I tried to walk away, and he grabbed the back of my jacket, and then he punched me in the head. Then he started to like, you know, thrash me around and all this kind of stuff. Right. I didn't try to fight back or anything like that. I just wanted him to let me go so that I could basically leave because I realized I don't have any, there's nobody here to rescue me. Fortunately, I just let my emotions show. I was genuinely scared. I didn't know what was going to happen. We've all seen all kinds of videos of like people getting beat down and things like that. So I was really just pleading with the people that were around there to help me. And this giant individual, he was probably like a 6'4", 300-pound dude who I just said, "Dude, help me get this guy off of me." And eventually they got the guy off of me. He like ripped my jacket. He wouldn't let go. And after he let go of me, I started running down Pine Street. You guys can check my Twitter for the map of how far I ran. It was almost a mile, but it was several blocks.
Right.
That they chased me. So I ran down Pine. I ran a couple blocks, and then I realized two guys were chasing me. When I looked behind me, I couldn't tell who they were because my vision was blurry. And eventually they caught up to me, and they physically put their hands on me, told me to sit down, told me I needed to go back with them. And then a young black lady came over to me and said, you are trying to steal security plans. You need to go. I told you to go to the medical tent for interrogation." And I said, "No way," basically. And they wouldn't let me go. They were physically trying to restrain me. And I collapsed on the floor because I was so tired. Like through all the struggle that was going on, I basically was just on the ground, and they were trying to like drag me and pick me up by my shirt, my jacket. And I was yelling, you know what I mean? There was cars driving by, and I was like trying to reach for them to get them to stop or something. And
yo, bro, I had no idea. Cause I mean, just for context, like this is the first time me and Kaylin actually spoke about this. Dude, this is terrifying, man. And these, you know, what are you supposed to do? These people are unpredictable. It's a no. You got obviously supplies with you. You have, you know, a backpack or you know, something on you. And I mean, what happened from there? How did you manage to get out?
So basically, because I was screaming and yelling for someone to help me the entire time, there was only a few people on the street. There was a lady on the sidewalk who had like 2 of her dogs. And then as I kept yelling, I figured that's the only thing that I can do because I'm already out of the zone, right? I'm already out of the zone. I'm a couple blocks away, and people were coming out on their balconies, maybe like 1 or 2. And I heard somebody yell like, just run. And I also heard somebody else talk about like, this is our neighborhood. Those were like the 2 things that I could hear from people on the streets. And so after yelling and in the struggle, they started to kind of like let off, because I feel like, you know, the situation looks bad. They look really terrible in that situation where it's like nobody really knows what's going on, but there's a man on the floor yelling for help, and there's people trying, you know, to drag him away. So they kind of let off, and then once they let off, I started running down Pine Street again. I pulled my phone out. I called 911. I ran all the way down to pretty much, there's a freeway overpass. You'll see it on the map if you check that out on Twitter. And by that time, I had been on the phone with 911. I'm actually requesting those records, by the way. I'm requesting body cam footage, patrol car footage, radio call, all that stuff. And basically, once I got to the freeway overpass, I looked behind me, and that black girl had turned around. She wasn't following me anymore. But then a dark blue Camry with tinted windows drove up behind me. There's nobody else out, so I didn't know who this car was. And we all know earpieces. We all know that they have radios. And I just suspected, because this car drove past me, then turned around, made a U-turn, and parked on the other side of the street facing me. So basically, there's no one behind me. There's a construction zone to my right, and to my left, there was like an empty lot. So I didn't really know what to do, but I was on the phone with dispatch. They said, get to somewhere safe and wait for PD. Tell us where you're at. I said, I'm at Pine and Boren/9th Street, right in the middle there. I hopped over 2 fences to get into this construction zone, and I hopped down, and I just waited there for PD, and they eventually came. The car didn't leave, though. So once they got there, I came out and I told them, hey, that car over there, I suspect that they're and trying to catch my breath because my lungs were on fire in that struggle. And they got him out, and basically he told them that he was doing security or for something. That's basically what he told them and what they relayed to me. The thing was that he was in Black Bloc. Black Bloc.
Yeah, this guy's a John Brown gun club, something like that, man, or Antifa. You know, either way, they're both connected. Yeah. Man, I had no idea it was that bad, dude. That you had to go through all that. Honestly, what a shame for Seattle Police Department. That, dude. I mean, luckily you were able to get away, and they didn't. I mean, from your face, man, it looks like they weren't able to like at least land anything too severe, but. Well, you know, somebody else could be put in a worse situation, and I mean, obviously, your situation was bad as it is. That's horrible, bro. I mean, what did the cops do? Did they like give you a ride anywhere? What was that about?
Yeah, so the officer W. Griffin, he was super apologetic. He said he was sorry that all of this was happening in there. He said that he wished that he could do more, but that they can't respond there because they'll get murdered. That's what he said, that they would get murdered, and that they want to do something. They really do, as far as like going in there and just like clearing them out, but they can't, and it takes time. They want to hold people responsible. And I think that's the key, is that, you know, holding people responsible. Clearing the place out is one thing, and it could get messy, but clearing it out doesn't hold anyone responsible. So I think that is sort of the route they're taking, which makes sense. That's attempted kidnapping, theft. And
also, they wanted to, you know, they could have destroyed your phone, and like you can't, you know, you're a journalist, you're there to document footage, so they're already trying to, you know, destroy like news information. Dude, I'm shocked to hear this for the first time. When you, I mean, how do you feel now, man? How are you feeling now today that we're away? You know, you're away from Seattle, you're back home. How you feeling now?
I feel good. I think I got really blessed in that I wasn't injured. Like I said, it could have gone really different for me if I would have other way than just trying to get away. If I would have gone into their medical tent, they would have, who knows what could have happened. They would have taken my phone. They would have destroyed it. They would have found footage. They would have forced me to open it and look at it. They could have, really maimed me. And I'm just lucky to have gotten out of there. Excited for what's coming up in the future. I know I'll be going to Tesla, or not Tesla, Tulsa. With
well, that's actually what I'm talking about. Is like, I like how you're hitting the ground running, man. So you'll be back in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You're going to be covering Trump's rally. Really quick, because I know you have to do other lives actually. So shout out, all your social media, and obviously you're a co-founder of a company. So let's talk about that.
So, guys, if you don't know this yet, I know it's in my bio, but check out Scriber News. I co-founded this company with Mike Lusso and Jamie Joseph, and we're a nonpartisan news outlet. Despite this is something that people need to understand, is that nonpartisan journalism and reporting still exists, and it exists in Scriber News. So check us out and give us a follow on our social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, if you like nonpartisan news, because what we believe in is telling people the truth. We're just giving you the straight facts. We're not giving you our opinion. So despite me having my opinion, that's the mission of the company that I own. And you can follow me on Twitter personally at FromKalen, or IG at FromKalen as well.
Yeah, make sure you guys are following Kalen for more like frontline journalism. I'm more than sure he's going to be out there again with us. Any more of this stuff pops off. Just in case, I'm going to drop something really quick. You guys have to check out my mini doc. Just dropped on YouTube, so go check that out. It's 3 days of on-the-ground reporting from CHAZ. So I put everything together for you. Mini doc with interviews. Go check that out. Make sure you're following Kalen because he has a ton of stuff to drop. Make sure you're following Lives Matter. Elijah, Slightly Offensive. A daily caller for all of us that were on the ground reporting. So Kalen, hey, thank you, man. Really appreciate you popping on, at least, talking to us really quick and like giving us some feedback. We're glad to see that you're all right. He's hitting the ground.